People often believe they understand a war after reading a short summary, as if a few neat lines could capture something so vast. But history rarely works that way. Beneath every conflict lies a quiet buildup of ambition, fear, and calculation, and the war between France and Prussia was no different. It began years earlier, when Europe was still shifting under the weight of past upheavals. In 1852, a man named Napoleon III declared himself Emperor of France, not just to claim power, but to resurrect the image of a strong and dominant empire. It was a bold signal to the world. France was no longer content to stand on the sidelines. Within a year, he led the nation into the Crimean War against Russia. Though the outcome was far from decisive, it restored France's presence on the global stage and fueled Napoleon's hunger for greater influence. At the same time, far from the spotlight, Prussia was rising with quiet precision. In 1866, after defeating Austria in a swift and decisive 7-week war, Prussia formed the North German Confederation. Piece by piece, it began pulling the German states together under its control. A unified Germany was no longer just an idea, it was becoming a reality. And to France, that reality looked dangerously close to a threat. By the late 1860s, tension between the two powers had grown thick and heavy. Both sides understood that war was likely, but neither wanted to strike first. The risk of drawing in other powers like Britain or Russia was too great. So they waited, watching each other carefully, as if both were standing on the edge of something inevitable. Then, in 1870, a spark appeared in an unexpected place, Spain. After a revolution removed Queen Isabella II, the country found itself without a ruler. An offer was quietly sent to Prince Leopold of Prussia, inviting him to take the Spanish throne. Behind closed doors, Otto von Bismarck immediately saw the opportunity. A Prussian prince in Spain could shift the balance of power across Europe. Napoleon III saw it too, and he reacted swiftly. He protested, pressured, and demanded that King Wilhelm I of Prussia block Leopold from accepting the crown. Wilhelm agreed, hoping to ease tensions and avoid conflict. For a moment, it seemed like the crisis might pass. But France pushed further. A diplomat was sent to meet Wilhelm, demanding a permanent promise that Prussia would never again interfere with the Spanish throne. This time, Wilhelm refused. He had already given enough. The encounter was summarized in a message sent back to Bismarck, a simple report that would later be known as the Ems Dispatch. In its original form, it was calm and diplomatic. But Bismarck understood something others did not. Perception could be more powerful than reality. He edited the message before releasing it to the press, sharpening its tone, making it sound as though both sides had insulted one another. The reaction was immediate. In France, public outrage exploded. Pride had been wounded, and pressure mounted rapidly. On July 19, 1870, France declared war. What followed moved quickly. Both nations mobilized hundreds of thousands of soldiers. But from the very beginning, the difference in preparation became clear. Prussia's army, supported by an efficient railway system and meticulous planning, moved faster and more effectively. France, though strong in numbers, struggled to keep pace. By early August, battles erupted across French territory. The Germans advanced relentlessly, always one step ahead. Then came the defining moment, the Battle of Sedan on September 1. Around 200,000 German troops encircled 130,000 French soldiers. The outcome was devastating. Napoleon III himself was captured, along with his army. With the emperor gone, the Second French Empire collapsed almost instantly. But the war did not end there. German forces pushed forward to Paris, surrounding the city in a siege that would last 130 days. Inside, hunger and desperation spread. The new French government attempted to break the siege again and again, but each effort failed. The city slowly weakened, its resistance fading with each passing day. Finally, in January 1871, France had no choice but to seek peace. The Treaty of Frankfurt followed, forcing France to surrender the region of Alsace-Lorraine and pay an enormous financial cost. At the same time, in the Palace of Versailles, a new German empire was proclaimed, an event that reshaped the balance of power in Europe overnight. But the consequences did not end with the treaty. The loss of Alsace-Lorraine became a deep, unresolved wound for France, a quiet bitterness that would linger for decades. It planted the seeds for future conflict, contributing to tensions that would eventually erupt into the First World War. Looking back, it is easy to say the war began over a message, or a perceived insult. But that explanation barely scratches the surface. The truth is far more complex. It was the result of years of rivalry, ambition, and careful manipulation. And perhaps the most unsettling part is this: a war of such scale did not require a massive event to begin. It only needed the right moment, the right pressure, and a message, slightly altered, to ignite everything.